Have you ever wondered how the obsession started for cars that make the ground shake, burn tires easily, and make your heart race just by hearing the engine roar? Before the Mustang, before the Charger, there was a revolution. In the 60s, American youth didn't just want to drive. They wanted power, identity, and a challenge. But there was a problem. Powerful cars were too expensive and too big. They were made for men in suits, not for kids in leather jackets. That's when visionary engineers, some rebels inside big car companies, decided to break the rules. They put huge engines into medium-sized, affordable car bodies, creating a new kind of car. That's how muscle cars were born. Untamed machines that reflected a generation looking for speed. It all kicked off with the 1964 Pontiac GTO. Who made it happen? A bold engineer named John DeLorean. He saw something that the GM bosses just refused to see. Young people wanted speed. Back then, General Motors had a rule. No mid-size cars could have engines bigger than 330 cubic inches. But DeLorean found a way around it. He launched the GTO as an optional performance package for the Pontiac Tempest. Legally, it wasn't a new model, just an extra. But in reality, it was a rocket in disguise. Under the hood, a 6.4-liter V8, which with the Tri-Power package, 3 two-barrel carburetors, pumped out up to 348 horsepower. A mid-size car that went from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 6 seconds. It wasn't fancy, it was raw power. An engine built to go fast without asking permission. By approving this package, GM lit the fuse of a revolution. The explosion would change the industry forever. The muscle car era was officially open. Ford's answer was quick and relentless. In 1964, the Mustang debuted with a bang. But it was the 1967 GT Fastback version that carved the Mustang name into the history of American speed. With more muscular lines and a 6.4-liter V8 with 320 horsepower, the car became a symbol of power and freedom. But what sealed its legend was the movies. In 1968's Bullitt, Steve McQueen flew through the streets of San Francisco with a dark green fastback Mustang, facing a black Charger in one of the most iconic chases of all time. After that, the Mustang was more than a car. It was a dream of freedom and rebellion. Ford sold attitude, and millions bought it. The Mustang became the king of the streets. Chevrolet didn't just stand there. When they saw how popular the Mustang was, they launched their own challenger, the Camaro. Its 4.9-liter V8, 302 cubic inches, was custom designed to fit the rules of the Trans Am series, which limited the engine to 5.0 liters. Officially, it put out 290 horsepower, but many knew that was just a polite number. In reality, it was over 350 GP. With a 4-speed manual transmission and a tougher suspension, the Camaro Z28 was precise, light, and aggressive. It was a race car in disguise. While others were like sledgehammers, the Z28 was a scalpel. It could take corners and win on both the streets and the tracks. Chevrolet's answer was surgical and devastating. Dodge went for intimidation with the Charger RT. Aggressive design, a 7-liter Hemi 426 engine, brutal power. The Charger was heavy, but when it sped up, it looked like a missile launched from an aircraft carrier. In the movies, it became the perfect villain in Bullitt, chasing the Mustang. On the streets, it was the car that commanded respect and fear. The Charger was pure brute force, impossible to ignore. With muscle cars getting expensive, Plymouth created the Roadrunner, all engine, no fancy stuff. It was straight to the point, no frills, just raw power. With a simple base, every penny was put into performance. With its 6.3-liter V8, it was already fast. But with the Hemi 426 engine, it became a 425 horsepower machine, able to hit 100 kilometers per hour in 5.5 seconds. The clever touch. The name and the beep beep came from the cartoon, licensed by Warner Brothers, connecting with youth culture. It was fast, affordable, and fun. The people's muscle car. The Roadrunner proved that speed didn't have to cost a lot. For those who wanted power without showing off, there was the Chevrolet Chevelle SS 396. It had a simple design, but a 375 horsepower V8 engine hidden under the hood. It was comfy and roomy, but it could easily beat other cars on the streets. It was like a wolf in sheep's clothing, calm on the outside, wild on the inside. The Chevelle was the car for people who wanted power without drawing attention. Sometimes the most dangerous threat is the one you don't see coming. 6 cars, 6 personalities. The bold GTO, the iconic Mustang, the sharp Camaro, the intimidating Charger, the stripped-down Roadrunner, and the elegant Chevelle. Each one showed a different side of American youth in the 60s. Rebellion, speed, being real. But the party ended in the 70s. The oil crisis, expensive insurance, environmental laws. Muscle cars became legends, but the roar of the V8 was never silenced. They are more than just machines. They are statements of freedom on wheels. The legacy lives on in every rumble of an old engine. And you? Which one would you choose to speed into the past? If you like stories about cars that made history, subscribe to the channel. The next race is about to begin. Gearbones, more coming soon.